Good afternoon, good evening, everyone, and welcome to the December 10th, 2025 Baltimore County Human Relations Commission meeting. We will formally call our meeting to order at 6:04 p.m. So welcome to all of you who are here. I will conduct roll call, and we'll start with Commissioner Jelani Sheikh.
Present.
Commissioner Orr. Commissioner Greer. Commissioner Shia. Commissioner Fricks.
Present.
Thank you. Commissioner Lucas White. Commissioner Jackson. Oh, I'm so sorry. That's a vacant seat. Commissioner Thornton is present. Commissioner McCready. Commissioner Davis. Commissioner Miles.
Present.
Any emeriti commissioners? Okay, thank you. That completes roll call, but noting that our commission secretary is absent, we will need to select someone else to record the minutes this evening. I'm willing to take a volunteer or entertain a motion for someone that's willing and able to take minutes. Am I able to hear the room? I want to make sure I'm not speaking. I see Commissioner Shia. Welcome.
Hi.
Was there any response to the request? I just want to make sure I can hear.
No.
Okay, if not, is there any opposition to have Mr. Skinner support us by taking notes this evening, along with the recording? Okay, well, I'll formally ask for approval. My suggestion is that Mr. Skinner be empowered to take minutes for us this evening. All in favor of that?
Aye.
Any opposition? Okay, perfect. Thank you. We're going to move ahead. This is actually meant to be a pretty concise meeting. As you know, we don't have a scheduled speaker. So we want to kind of move down the agenda so that everyone can get home to their families and enjoy this holiday season. So my remarks are very brief, but to announce that we have received our draft bylaws from our Chief Administrative Officer, who's put time into crafting those for us. And so they are available, and they are also available for us to make any proposed amendments to the bylaws that might help us better conduct business as a commission. And so what we're going to be asking, we're going to send the draft bylaws out digitally, and we're going to ask you to review them, and we'll send this by email. And then if you have proposed amendments that are procedural, mostly because the bylaws already represent what we have authority to oversee based on Article 29, that you submit those to me. And then we're in January at our January meeting going to take a deep dive into these new bylaws so that we can go line by line and see how they address our ability to do business, our ability to function as commissioners, support our districts, and support the county as a whole. And then we'll corporately be able to put forward some amendment proposals as well. And so January will be our meeting to do that. So I did want to announce that that work is moving forward. We've known that we've been in transition, but some good things are happening, and we're moving along and making sure that we have our proper governance in order. And with that, I will turn it over to Chief Rashawn with any staff or open case updates.
Right, good evening, everyone. So quick overview is that the total intakes are 31. I think that fell under our jurisdiction, or 7 and 2 are active. And you mentioned before that we're going to be switching over to an investigation group within Baltimore County to handle those cases. We're still in that process. because the majority of the intakes fell out of our jurisdiction scope, where we directed most of them to, different agencies outside of, Baltimore County. And the next step to get those cases into Baltimore County Investigation, group is to get a formal delegation from the county executive. One, to switch it over, and then two, to extend the case, because one of them, I believe, the elevator is about to be over, about to hit the 180 days, which we have to take action. Uh, so those are the next steps. And then we're moving forward, and excited to see how this transition will complete. That's all I have for updates.
Okay, are there any questions? All right, we're gonna move down. So old business were really to address any subcommittee updates. For tonight's work, our discussion will lend itself to us establishing a budget request. So for the work of the commission, we have the ability to submit to our administrative officer a request for budget for 2026. Those budget items will support the work of the commission, but also the work of those subcommittees that are producing tangible outcomes for the commission and for our work in the community. So before we have that brief conversation, is there anyone here representing one of the subcommittees that would like to give an update on the subcommittee work? I know some of it may have stalled recently, but if there are any updates, we would like to hear them now.
Yes, so Commissioner Lucas White, I'm on the subcommittee with Commissioner Fritz for special events, and we would like to propose the date of February 27th for our symposium. We will have it the same style as what we pre-planned before, a panel style. And one thing that we were thinking to be creative to entice county employees to participate, since it is on a weekday, if we can figure out how to get professional development credits for this event. So that would just be further discussion. We still plan to have it at Randallstown Community Center, which is a free all-inclusive center which provides a sound system, stage, tables, and allows us to do a networking mall and use the space for free. Budgetarily wise, we would love to ask or request finances for maybe a continental breakfast to just show some etiquette to our guests that will be participating. And then we will provide more updates on our planning of who's willing to participate in terms of on the panel and even food vendors to participate in the parking lot.
Okay, so we have a proposed date on the table. Is there any discussion about that date? Anyone know of any reason why that might not work? Okay, anything happening in the county?
Nothing I could think of.
February 27th.
It's a Friday, the last Friday of the month.
So in terms of the date, I don't have any comment. I think if I go back to probably 2 meetings ago, maybe 3, when we were initially discussing the date of this year, and then the obstacle budget and the obstacle that we brought up the questions around communication, just to make sure that it's, that the effort that's put forward, make it a successful event, gives we get that out of what we're looking for. And
We have enough time.
exactly, yeah. So, in terms of, I think there are 2 outstanding questions. And I'm not saying that we have to nail that completely before we choose a date, but would love to see some more progress on the budget to make sure that we're good with that, as well as a communication plan, so that we know that we're allowing the enough time leading up to the date of the.
Okay, so in terms of budgetary wise, what would that encompass? So when we planned the first event, everything was just based upon community initiatives. It did not need any money. It would have been nice to have continental breakfast, but we had MCCR executive willing to participate, other commissioners willing to participate. Ms. Thornton from her group was going to stay on a panel. And for communication initiatives, what's the best way to communicate with other fellow commissioners? So I sent out an email asking if individuals would be willing to volunteer. The only person who responded was Commissioner Jackson. And so what's the best way to share communication?
I think we should probably establish that for ourselves. Now that we'll be doing more consistent work between the commission meetings, should it be email or something else? We have to be very careful. Hopefully you all have taken your Maryland Open Meetings Act training, so you know that in instances where we share emails and all of the commissioners are on that email thread, that is considered a meeting that's subject to overview. It could be considered that way. So we have to be careful that we're not conducting business in those ways, and it could be seen as us not being transparent. So I think what we should do is note our need for intermittent communication, and then we can check in with Mr. Benjamin, who's here, and our administrative officer to see what the best way to do that would be, so that we don't violate anything. And in other groups it might be a text, but I'm not certain that we can conduct business that way because of the Open Meetings Act. So I think we need some guardrails on what's allowable.
Again, just once you give me the parameters, I don't mind if it's texting everyone, using a special app, whatever it is. I'm willing, both of us, well, both of us are willing to do however.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What about a social media presence? Is there one already established for the commission or oversight of the commission? Have a social media?
With those social media pages, are you referencing the communication or promotion?
For promotion, but do we already have access to something on Facebook or Twitter or LinkedIn?
We don't. Open to hear the possibilities, but I know there was ideas that were going around when I was at old notes from this year, but no, that hasn't come to fruition.
Yeah, that's what I was referring to in terms of communication. Is how are we, promoting the event? Make sure that.
Oh, how you promoting? I thought you were saying how you were going to speak internally.
No,
Planning.
no.
That's what it seemed like. Okay, promotion wise.
Yeah.
So promotion, promotion was a little lackluster, but,
Yeah.
we did have a flyer, and then we were also on Eventbrite, and we did a event. So with Eventbrite, before it turned into a private event, we had 56 views in 4 days. And that's without doing anything, that's just being on Eventbrite. So we definitely can increase those initiatives, and think outside of, I don't know, just think inside the box of usually how people promote events.
Social media, word of mouth.
I think also when the Department of Diversity, Equity, Inclusion goes out and does tabling at specifically at some of the other county events, that's going to give us an opportunity to make sure we have our flyers and we're sharing, and making sure other commissions are inspired to share for us as well.
Any of the commissions have social media? Not to be a dead horse, but just wondering, do any of the commissions or Department of Diversity have social media presence?
No.
No.
Is that by design?
Some of the departments do have social media.
So how would we gain,
No, it was an
even if
idea.
it's just LinkedIn, that's more professional platform where we could post a flyer, we could put contact information. We can put the right link. To participate as a vendor or performer.
Do you all remember the capacity of the venue? We went there and it was sizable, but it wasn't humongous.
Let me look it up. It's 200 or 250. Depending on if we want so many chairs or
Right.
standing.
So that's what I was thinking about. Well, another thing to consider is how many people can we actually cater to physically? And with the tables and the chairs. If we're only looking at 200 people, I think 2 months is adequate amount of time to share information, so that we have to just be aware of space.
Yeah.
Sorry, this is Commissioner Zainab speaking. Specifically pertaining to the social media presence, I think it would be very beneficial if we did move forward with something like that. I was speaking to some of our community members, and I do think it would be very beneficial for us to get the word out if we did have social media presence.
Thank you.
Absolutely. So these are some things that we should work on. You mentioned some initial needs that you might have from a budgetary standpoint for breakfast and other things. I am, just to let you know, I'm switching devices, but I'm coming into in case you see me twice on the webinar. As we think of understanding that the original number we had discussed earlier in the meetings was exorbitant and not something that's, other commissions experience. And, we still need to be really good stewards of the county's resources. For this particular event, can you think of a total number that we would like to put forward in our budget request that would be meaningful to cover the things that we need to cover?
Yes. And then also before we leave this topic, just a group think conversation of outside of just a continental spread, what else budgetarily maybe that we're not thinking of should be included. And then we can have the answer right now, just think about it and then.
Yeah.
I don't know, share next meeting.
Yeah, so by January, we need to be placing these figures into a spreadsheet and then sending them over for approval. We don't want to miss our window as we've done in the past. And so it's something to think about, but that's certainly the charge right now. So thank you so much for your work. I'm looking forward to February. I think if we can, by the top of January, start planning, start promoting and submitting the request for budget, we'll be in good position to get the word out about this add-on event.
And I can
So we also have, oh, go ahead. Yes.
Sorry. I can also
No, you're
find
good.
out from the rec center, community center, if we can add the date, the event to their Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter, because they already utilize it.
Yes.
So that may be a good way to get the word out.
Absolutely.
Actually, yeah, we did ask him about that, and he said, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
I can't remember her name right now. Deja.
yeah, she definitely said we is there for,
Awesome.
in the library, said
Let me look at the flyer.
options.
That may just be enough because they're Baltimore County presidents. Platforms, not the only source.
Sure.
of
Yes. Is there anyone here? Because I think we might have to do some really strong reconstituting for our other two subcommittees, one of which is education and the other is community partners. I know Commissioner Orr, I don't believe is on, but they took some interest and we're going to meet to discuss assuming leadership of one of those committees. And so I think we're turning a corner here. We have new leadership and those kind of things. It's time to needle down on the work of the subcommittee so that we can ask for what we need and then spend some of the actual commission meeting time moving some of our objectives forward. So I'm excited to be able to do that. I want to circle back because I failed to approve or get approval for the meeting minutes tonight. And so you've been presented with the meeting minutes both from October 23rd and the meeting minutes from the November 12th meeting. Is there any discussion or corrections noted for those minutes? I have reviewed both of them myself as well. Okay. Hearing none, we'll entertain a motion to approve those minutes as presented to the commission.
I move to approve the October and November minutes as presented.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and properly seconded. All in favor of approving those minutes? say aye.
Yeah.
Aye. Okay. Any opposed? Perfect. Our business is now in order, so I'm grateful for that. So, moving along, and I don't want to rush because I mentioned at the top of the meeting, I have some conflicts, so I don't want to rush this conversation. So I'd like to do two things at this time. We're going to go into talking about new business, which is a great time for you all to think about how we want to show up within our auspices in the new year, talking about issues in our districts, talking about community outreach opportunities and upcoming events. And certainly Commissioner Miles is going to talk about the holiday gathering informal meetup that we have planned for tomorrow. That being said, I don't want to have to interrupt conversation. So at this time, I would like to abdicate my chair role to another commissioner in the absence of Commissioner Greer, who would naturally run the meeting if I was not here to run the rest of the agenda. There are only two more agenda topics, and new business and our announcements and adjournment. Commissioner Miles, I'm putting you on the spot, but would you be able to assume that in my absence?
I would suggest, because it's not official HRC business, to keep that offline.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Sorry,
Okay.
what did you mean by that? I wasn't.
I think she was about to prep you for the tomorrow.
Oh,
No.
yeah.
I'm actually prepping him because I'm going to have to release the line, and so you need
Oh,
a chair
okay.
of the meeting. Yes, and in the absence of Commissioner Greer, who has been elected to serve in my place when I'm not able to be present, we need to just have the approval for someone else to be able to pick up the last agenda item. And so, is there any opposition in the room to that? All right, and I do apologize for being so stretched, but Commissioner Miles, if you could run us through the new business agenda, I greatly appreciate that. And for those I won't see again until the new year, so wonderful to work with you. I'm excited about where our work is going in 2026.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, so our new business items are district updates. To start, someone on point to talk about district updates.
Share updates,
Okay,
if any, but there's no.
okay, so does anybody have an update in their district?
Yesterday, evening, our district has three, and there is the candidate. We talk to anything, right? Doesn't matter, right? There's and the Democratic candidate for county council has a kickoff event at the fire museum. So everything, and her name is Sean McIntosh. I don't know if you know. Sean McIntosh.
And what district are you?
Three,
District three.
yeah, all the three. I don't know if what's the new one, but it's Timonium, Coxville area. Yeah.
Any district updates for those on the dialed in remotely?
No, none from me.
Okay, with that, we'll move on to the next item, community outreach opportunities and upcoming events. I think we have spoken about that, right?
Yeah.
Are there any other outreach opportunities that we should discuss tonight?
Not that I have no agenda.
No, okay.
No, well, I do want to clarify about. But did we sit on the 27th?
The signature event, do we need to vote on the day?
I'm not sure if that's, yeah, I'm just not clear if we all said yes.
No, so we did not all say yes. Last meeting, we proposed different months, no specific date. But the venue is available on the 27th. So if it does not fit for the group, you're happy to make a request of what works best for us.
Right, when do they have a timeline on when the decision needs to be made?
We've already secured that date to hold it, but we could change it.
Well, that's good.
And the good point that Commissioner Lucas White made is we can tie that into Black History Month and the diversity.
I was thinking the same thing. Yeah,
If we don't all agree on that day and we pick a day in March, we can tie it into Women's History Month.
That's it.
Collaboration with. Yeah,
If we change it to a March date,
So, yes.
so right now February, and I guess next meeting, there'll be a issue. Well, but you already have it, that's the most important.
Yes, it's locked in,
It's like, all right,
but it's not set in stone, so if we want to change it, we can change it.
all right.
they've been great to work.
Okay. All right, and lastly, David, I'm sorry, what were you mentioning about the holiday gathering? So keep that offline. Keep it offline, yes. All right.
Oh,
Gotcha. So any other new business items that we should discuss?
we still go back to the budget
Sure.
process, specifically for the signature. Maybe, no, maybe the total budget. I thought that we heard in the last conversation from Administrative Officer Walker was she was aware that $5,000 was granted to other organizations or commissions, and that's the max that we can request, given we provide an overview of the budget items.
I remember saying.
I
But
thought,
she said for now, she is willing to extend kind regards for anything that may be needed in the near future before we actually go into the next budget. Yeah, until we actually get a chance to review the next budget. So this, the budget that Chair Thornton mentioned is really, we have a form that she just needs to put those numbers in, and then I'll take it in and see how we distribute funds to it. So there's no actual number that we're hitting, is more so just trying to make things move along before we actually go into next year, something about budgets.
So, do you have access to this spreadsheet, or how do you want an assistant do that information, just?
Well, actually, the Thornton has
budget spreadsheet.
the spreadsheet, so she will be sharing that with you all. Sure, assuming, I don't wanna be, don't quote me. I just know that she has it and she's gonna share.
If I'm not mistaken, I think she just mentioned we would request that in early January.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah, it looks like here too.
Okay,
We request in January, it's approved May or early June. And it's for FY 27 July spend, so that's a fiscal year.
right, that's why I said kind regard, like, whatever we request before that would be kind regard, so it would be to help out, to move things forward. So that is different from,
What we're doing in,
yes,
this would be in June.
yes,
so the formal fiscal year request.
yes,
But we also have the ability to request something in around.
yes.
Okay.
So that we are not sure what's gonna happen next year, but we know that it will be reviewed.
We go in this process.
Right, and it may not be an actual number, it may just be a clearer process, not kind of regards. It's just how we are gonna move forward in a clear path, rather than middle of transition.
So an example of that may be if in her area, they work with a vendor who provides, or caterer who provides discounted continental breakfast type of thing. She would refer us to that vendor or let us use that resource. Is that what you mean by in kind?
No, what it just means is that it's not already within the scope, because it wasn't
It's not
prepared.
official.
Yeah, it's not official, so that's what it means, it doesn't mean that we will reach out to our vendors, I mean, could, but it doesn't mean that, yeah, it's not absolute like that, whatever vendor you are looking at, would be just fine.
So in terms of for the printing material or the sound system. we can
Resources they
send
use.
those,
Right.
They have that, we can borrow without any
Yeah.
cost.
Yeah.
That kind of.
So they might have other resources that we could use and not have to purchase. it.
Right. It's possible, but luckily right now, we sounds like you all don't need anything
Not like
for the
that.
signature and I mean, for concern of that, but in terms of printing things, we print things, so we go ahead with flyers. We already started looking at, how we're gonna go about doing that. So, yeah, that wouldn't be a cost in terms of coming out of the budget for the wall. That will come out of my budget or our budget for the TDI.
So it sounds like the breakfast that we have, the time frame we have in mind for the event.
So it would, well, we have the venue from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. So we're hoping to do like 10 to 1 or 2. And that just gives us time to, like, clean up, allow vendors to come, have a little stress-free of a day. So if we start at 10 but we can start earlier, but we have from 8 to 5.
So it'd be nice to have some, like you said, some brunchy items.
Yes.
You know, coffee, something.
Like refreshment.
Yes. Yeah, we don't want a full breakfast, but if we could have like little fruit, coffee,
Something that-
yeah, muffin. Yeah.
Well, I have a question. While we're speaking at the about the budget, what happened with the budget for this year, 2025? We just passed that.
There wasn't one.
There wasn't
That's
one
what
because we didn't request the.
No, I was speaking before, and Madam Mayor addressed it. I was speaking about taking funds out of my budget, which was not correct. So,
They did not
and
approve.
yeah, I thought I could, help the commission out by just moving that aside, but it's accounted for. So that was a mistake on my part, but I was trying to be.
Yeah, thank you. So, yeah. But this happens because we didn't request at the beginning of the year, not because they didn't have money, right?
Well, we didn't know to, right?
Right.
To your point.
I think it sounds like it was
There
a
wasn't.
misinterpretation from different angles.
Okay.
I think that's probably the best way to put it if I could summarize, but it sounds like we know what we need to do for next year.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, any other new business? Okay. Are we ready to, any other announcements that we should make? Sure.
No, actually, I have a question here. So next meeting, January 14th, is it in person here, or is it virtual on the calendar?
Oh, okay.
So which one is correct?
But
Do we do every other separate schedule?
Yeah, I was wondering, I was put it on my calendar.
Which day?
January 14th, is that in person or virtual? Because on the calendar it says virtual, but in this agenda it says in person.
January, so I'll go by the calendar,
Calendar,
yes.
okay, virtual, then the two virtual and then okay, yeah. Yeah,
Unless you all would like to switch it, I mean, it's up to you all, the calendar is totally up to you all. You know,
I don't think it's
probably it's better to have in-person meeting before the event.
yeah, this is just a
Switch
proposed
that.
calendar,
Yeah.
totally subject to the commission.
Which the February and March one.
What's the thought process of doing in person versus virtual?
Because then we want like an in-depth discussion for the big event.
Yeah.
We're gonna have.
Yeah, I agree. And then also we'll probably have more clarity. So like I said before, like last time I reached out and it was a radio silence, at least now we'll get face-to-face interaction of whatever we want to do.
Right,
Okay.
it's more, yeah, it's more.
It's more personable.
I agree. And that's what you all would agree on January. It's a great start to the year.
No, February 11th, we can do in person, and then March 11th.
Oh, should we vote on
Sounds like a
it?
vote.
Yeah.
Yeah,
sounds like
okay,
a vote.
okay.
Yeah.
Do we have a quorum?
Follow the other rule of order.
Do we have a quorum though? I think we need to make sure we have a quorum. Right now.
No.
Down-
So,
Commissioner Jelani Shake is on the webinar and Commissioner Jelani Sheikh is the only commissioner that's on the webinar.
See, so.
Well, I think what we're discussing is changing the February to in-person, is that right?
Yeah.
So we could vote on,
One
could we vote in the January meeting to change the virtual for February to in-person?
Then January virtual.
Thank you. February, we don't have- Before the-
Yeah, I agree.
top of the
But it's
year.
not really. So,
But then March should still do in person or virtual?
We'll keep it.
Okay, I think that works. So every other month we do in person.
We need to vote on January 14th in person.
Not like we can't, because we don't have enough.
But we,
Can we agree on it?
yeah, I agree on it.
Or do we need a vote?
Thank you, probably, maybe.
We have
Fire.
to.
But
Can we
this one,
vote on,
this virtual one, nobody votes on that.
well, this is just proposed.
Yeah.
This is totally subject to what dates and what format which the commission wants.
So I'm gonna suggest that we, since we cannot vote this evening, that we leave January for virtual and then we vote to change the February meeting. That's probably the best option at this point.
Or is a online voting an option?
I would say that you could even decide between now and then, via email.
Yeah.
Yeah.
By email, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, okay.
Sends email.
I'll
Okay.
I'll send that out.
Thank you.
So the preference is to vote via email to change the January meeting to in person.
Mhm.
So not for us.
The second thought, or I should say, an additional thought is even with the January meeting, if we go with it in person, as stated on the agenda, if we need to change the February date.
So the other thing I was thinking about too, changing, we do need a solidified date because we're asking guests to come into our home and space and we can't be so uncertain and disrespectful in others' times. So that's what's, we'll want a date now, well, not right now,
A
but
plan B date.
yes. Not now as in the second, but now-ish.
Maybe by email as well.
And which vote is that you want to secure?
To do a plan
February
B.
27th and a March date.
If we listen to proposal, the March day, March 8th.
No, February.
And you know that we're gonna vote to change this in person, and that's gonna snow.
Right. Right, virtual.
Oh,
That's
okay.
27th or March 27th.
So this is the date for the signature event,
Yes.
February 27th or
Fine.
March 27th.
You too.
Say March, and we'll feel more comfortable with the times.
Yeah, everyone.
Engage.
Yeah, because it's a signature.
Mhm.
It's our representation, our character, our presence.
Yeah, just also the same, does it need a performer on the side? Because.
You are going to get a local one?
Yeah,
Oh.
music.
a performer right there.
No.
Anybody?
Not gonna agree to that.
Spoken word.
I can reach out to my community, they have like that, and then it's kind of. We do that, once we get a date, I pitch the wall.
I went to that festival.
The
so-
Mid Autumn Office, so.
Yeah, it's great.
There's, yeah, right, yeah, so.
Something that we do, not for this year, because it would require a little bit of budget. I think they're probably around $700 or $800, but there's, we do a lot of events at the Arc for Black History Month. And we've had an African dancer group that has come to us the last couple of years, and they're fantastic. And of course, they engage with the folks we support, but they also give a lot of history around African dance.
Yeah.
And, that could be something that should
Yeah.
draw additional folks maybe to an event. But we can keep that in mind for,
For the following.
yeah, we might have to look at the budget.
So we'll add that to our line item. for
Yeah.
next fiscal
Yeah.
year. No, yes, the one thing I was inquiring about, I know last meeting, there was a mention that other groups needed additional support. Are those groups still in need? And what are those groups?
Subcommittees. No.
The other subcommittees,
Yeah.
there's the,
Education.
partnership subcommittee, and then the outreach and education subcommittee. Outreach and education.
Oh,
That's the one that was responsible for the brochures. So that would be materials, promotional education materials, outreach events. And partnerships was the one that former Commissioner Jackson was working on, where he set up a web portal for stakeholder organizations to sign up as partners. And that kind of fits into the conversation we had earlier.
yeah, they all do time to be.
Okay, any other announcements? Do we have anyone left online?
The other announcement that's just for the commissioners, there's a calendar invite that I set up. So everyone should have received a calendar invite for the outside engagement.
Okay. I can discuss that a little bit after we adjourn.
Sure.
Anything else before we adjourn? Put forward a motion to adjourn the meeting at 6:46.
Adjourn the meeting at 6:46.
Second.
Second.
Aye. So clear.
Yeah.
Sure. Thank you. So
So let me stop the recording.